Hello, good afternoon. How are you guys doing? Thank you for joining me on this amazing video. Thank you guys for joining me today. Come on in, let's have this short but interesting conversation. Happy Monday to you. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I want to get your opinion. Yes, I do. So come on in. All right. Welcome to my live stream. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to start because you guys can come and do a replay. So today I'm talking about Nancy Umeh, asking who Nancy is. Nancy Umeh is Cora Obidi's elder sister, and she's on the chopping board today. And why are we talking about Nancy Umeh? This has been on social media for over a week, going to two, I guess, if no more than 2 weeks. And Oyoyo did not know what has been going on. So I got hold of the whole story and I decided to come and hear the opinion of my subscribers and my followers here on Facebook and YouTube. So Nancy May was live when her father came back to Nigeria. She recorded it live, the whole 9 yards, the welcoming, the expression, the joy, and most times, those life joys brings controversy. Why am I saying that? Let me make it plain for you to understand. Live content creator can either make you or mar you. It can bring a lot of things because when you're live, you don't have control of what you share. Everything that comes into that life is made open to the general public. So in this case, Nancy was stream living, the welcoming of the father. And at some point in that welcoming, she had some conversation with her personal driver. Guys, at that point, why am I saying live stream can either make a content creator or my content creator? Hear me right. When you're doing a recorded video, you have the ample time to edit, remove the things you don't want the public to see or the one public to know, and then re-edit your video and then share. But when the story is live, you don't have that option of editing. And let's not forget, I just make sure my laptop is charging. Let's not forget, Nancy has been in the news ever since she came out defending her sister. Her sister is Cora Obidi, that have been trolled, that have been dragged through a very messy divorce for over 2 years, going to three. And Nancy has been very vocal about her support and love for her sister. And with that alone, she has gained a lot of what? Haters on social media. Okay. She has gained a lot of haters because of what? She's standing by her sister, defending her blood, encouraging people to support her sister, then calling out those that we are trolling her sister. So she has attracted a lot of internet enemies. Now, let's get to the event that brought this conversation. And it's going to be a very short live stream because this is my lunch time and I need to have a few minutes at least to sip something before. So, Nancy, like I said at the beginning of this conversation, was doing a live welcoming of her father that had been away for almost 6 months in the US with her younger sister, Cora. And at some point, because the father came back very late, and then when the father arrived, the driver that brought the father couldn't go back to his place, which is Nancy's old home, because it's like they moved to a new home in the island. And if you know what Lagos is full of traffic. That's why if you give me an option, I wouldn't want to live in Lagos again. And the distance is small, but the traffic makes it looks like eternity. Okay. So Nancy was like having a conversation on a live stream with the driver, telling the driver, um, okay, you can't go back for AYZ reasons. I don't want you to go back to mainland because you have errands to run in the morning. Okay, driver, where would the driver sleep? And then in the course of that conversation, Nancy now said you could sleep in the car. And to be honest with you, that did not go well for those looking for an opportunity to grab Nancy by her dairies. You understand? So they saw opportunity, they felt it was inhumane, they felt these days, they remember, internet is where you have So warriors, I call them keyboard warriors. Those that their lives stink, but they want to correct you. So a lot of people pounced on Nancy. Now that you got the whole story, I want to hear what you're going to say concerning this, and I'll also be sharing my opinion. Welcome, welcome to my live stream. All of you, thank you for joining me this amazing, amazing afternoon. Choice TV, thank you for being here. Thank you so much. I appreciate MTA. Thank you for joining. Exactly. Gracie Evans, thank you for joining. Barbara Campbell, thank you. Nancy is not wrong. Thank you, MTN, for your opinion. So look at what Choice said here. Choice is a content creator, a badass content creator, by the way, okay? So, and Choice is Madam Life Stream. She does live. One of her channel is more like 90% live stream and then maybe 20% of regular sit down videos. So she knows what I'm talking about. And look at her opinion. Live stream is too raw. No one is pro in it. Guys, this is somebody, like I said, one of her channels, we say 90% of content there are live. So she's talking also from experience. Now, MTA said, Nancy is not wrong. I was on that live stream. Great. Thank you so much, Choice. Choice said, I want you to be honest. That was not fair from Nancy. All right, let's have this conversation. See, there are so many reactions to what transpired between Nancy and her driver. But the thing I want to say here, and I'm going to say it the way I want to say it, okay? It might not go well with you, but hear me out. In Nancy's defense, when people came after her, Nancy came to make a video, do not allow stranger into your home. That was the first video I watched on Nancy. And I watched that video to the full, to the end of it. Do not allow strangers. I say exactly. I was just exactly. Yes, Nancy, go Nancy, go Nancy. I did not understand there was a situation before that video. I totally enjoyed that video. She talked about do not open your doors to strangers, people you don't feel comfortable with. You don't know what is going to happen to you. Have to protect your children. She gave all the instances, you understand, about on that video, which I completely 100% agreed with her. Then, on coming to realize the reason for that video, what generated that video, I went back to watch that scene. Now, this is my take, and I want you to tell me what you think in the comment section. First of all, I don't know the contract or agreement signed by Nancy and her driver. I don't know how they've been working, how their situation has been. Driver, if you're driving and maybe it's 12 midnight, make sure you go and park in a hotel and sleep in the car. I don't know. If you're driving, if it's 1 a.m., park somewhere, do not take the car on the road. I don't know their whole contract and agreement. But what I know is this. As someone who already has tons of enemies on social media, you have to buckle up. When I mean buckle up, I've suggested several times live streams are not very suitable when you know you have enemies following you, watching you, waiting for you to fall into their trap so that they will have the opportunity of sharing their opinion on your situation. Now that I said that I don't know the contract Nancy reached with her driver, this is my take. Nancy in her video said she cannot open doors for strangers. But first of all, I want to find out. I've not been following Nancy to be able to tell you I know everything she does and how she runs her home. But I have few questions to ask here. And if you know her better than I do, please help me by responding to those questions. The driver you're talking about, is he your personal driver that convey your kids from home to school or school to home? Or do you go doing that run, school run, picking your children, dropping them with this same driver? I want to know. Is this driver in question somebody you entrust to go and buy like groceries for you and bring back to the house without you going with this driver? I want to know. Is this driver in question someone you can go and send to go and pick refilled water for you? You guys know they have these big jars in Nigeria, people refill or buy you drinking water or drinks and supply to the house. I want to know to what extent is this driver doing personal chores for Nancy, you know, that relate directly to the family. Those are the questions I'm asking. If you know more what a driver does for Nancy, is it just drive in the morning, drop the key and go? He doesn't take the kids to the school. He doesn't help picking up water. I know why I'm saying this because I remember when I was in Lagos, I had a driver. Not me paying for the driver. That was when I was way younger. Okay, when I came out from youth studies, my sister gave me a driver because at the time I was doing a master's program at University of Ibadan, and I was going from Lagos to Ibadan. So I needed someone to drive. My sister made available those things for me. At some point, and my sister also had personal drivers, and I which I'm going to tell you guys why I asked this question so that we can understand it. So I know the extent the driver that was attached to me could do for me. And my sister's personal driver, my sister works in the island and lives in mainland at the time. So the driver she's in island, the driver is in mainland. The driver picks the son from school. You understand? The driver became a family. The driver's wife, driver's student, they come for weekend. They have time together with my sister. He became a family. He was actually the driver that taught me, the personal driver, by the way, that taught me how to drive. Mhm. Because I went to driving school, they put me on the road. I raised my hands up on the steering. So the driving school one ended. But my sister's personal driver, who by the way is a Yoruba man, was the one that taught me how to drive. So he became a family. We can send him to go to the village, my village, to see my mother, and he spends time in the village. So that is the closeness we have with that driver. So that driver will pick my sister's son from Green Springs, drop home, okay, and then stay with the boy until the mother comes back, to tell you how close, how personal. I don't know if Nancy has that personal relationship with the driver, and if you have more to share on what kind of errands the driver does for Nancy, then I will give you my opinion. By the way, let me read the comment section because it's gonna get interested. I guess I didn't hear he when she said he can sleep in the car or in a place where the staff stays. Okay. Um, in that case, MTA, from the video, the clip I watched, they have quarters in their old home where they moved to the island. So the home in the island, I'm not sure if he has living quarters for domestic staff. I'm not very sure about that. But what I heard from the video clip that I watched was you can stay in the car. That was what I heard. So I said, driver own his life in their hands. If you can trust a driver driving you, what is wrong in giving him a bed in the guest room? That is a very great point choice. Very great point. Um, mm. Kila, thank you for joining me today. He is a temporary staff. Oh, the driver is a temporary staff. So Nancy doesn't even know this person well yet. I get you. Thank you for saying that. Choice, Nancy is fair. He's protecting herself because of the situation that happened with her father-in-law's driver. Okay. Just babe, thank you for joining. Nancy was wrong to keep the driver so late. He's human too. Keeping the driver late is not news in Lagos. Let me put it that way. Because the traffic can keep you late. It's not news. Okay. When I mean it's not news, I've run. I remember when I was working in VI, when I first got my first job in Nigeria, I was working in VI. I will finish my work at about 7 because we'll close to the customers at about 5 and then we'll stay to do other things. So by 6:37, we'll shut the door. I'll wait for my sister who is a management, okay? And then so that they can convey me back to island. So I will wait for them. By the time my sister finish, the traffic is already jammed. And once the traffic is jammed, trust me, I'm telling you practical experience. Anybody that lives in the island at the time, we don't go home that early. You have to wait in the office and then traffic will start easing before you go. If you jump into the car at into the road at 5 p.m., you're going to spend over 5 hours before you get home. So in one of the days that we are waiting for the traffic to ease, we which the driver himself would suggest to Madam, Madam, there is no point going and staying on traffic. Let's just while away. So that's what they do in Victoria Island or those in the island that live in the mainland. In one of the occasion, we were met with Ndiamu robber, okay, on Third Mainland Bridge. If you see the way every car was turning, so not just the driver's life being at risk here, just be Nancy's father's life is also at risk. So that's no news, okay. Let me see what other comments. Um, people are saying a driver that does errands sometimes driver drives her around. Okay, is that the kind of driver? But killer, you said the driver is temporary, so that means the driver is new. Maybe they just got a driver for a few months. I don't know, but I hope that is the situation. I like Nancy, but he has fallen down my estimation. Okay, I like that. Like your opinion. She knew her father was on a late flight. She should have made provision for him. That is very, very considerate suggestion because the flight wasn't a surprise one. It wasn't an emergency landing, okay? It was something that was already planned. He was coming that day. So the thought would be, where would the man stay if he brings him? Okay, that would have been the thought. Okay, maybe we should get a guest house for one night if you want to do special. But let me also tell you guys, I will tell you guys my opinion. So Just Babe said, it's not news, but it's wrong. Make provision for your staff. My parent did, and I do same. Thank you for your opinion. Nancy did not delay the driver. He picked the father from the airport and was stuck in the traffic. That is Lagos for you. Can be there for 4 hours. Period. 5. All right. So Just Babe, you just Babe, must you fight must most okay, Just Babe. A flight, well, I guess it was a flight was delayed when it took off on time. I didn't get that quite. Choice. Why is it normal for Nigerian based madam and oga to treat their maid drivers and gate mad bad? Choice, we'll get to it. I wish I have enough time to have this conversation, but it's just going to be an hour max. He's not a new, oh, Just Babe. It's like you know the story very well. He's not a new driver. Okay. Okay. Better I join here. Hi, sis. Okay. You left Facebook. Okay. All right. Hi, Janice. Thank you for joining. Now, why am I saying live stream can make or mar you? If this was a recorded video, to be honest with you, Nancy would have edited that part out before sharing. But live stream, everything is raw, just like what Choice said. If you make mistake, is there. If your child runs into the live stream, is there. If people are talking, is there. And that's why this was in the open. Like I said at the beginning of this conversation, when you know you have gathered a lot of internet haters, there is no room for mistakes for you because they are going to drag you. Whether your contract said, I cannot allow you to sleep in my house if you are late, that is no longer the issue here because people are reacting based on what they saw, based on what they heard. That's the reaction. Oh, that was what they put out there. You go and watch, you have an opinion. Once it's on social media, you cannot dictate to people how to react. That's what we should know. So because that we are reacting that what Nancy did was wrong and not wrong. To be honest with you, the genuine people reacting, most of them would have been those based overseas. Because that's when you leave the shores of Nigeria, you understand how to treat human beings better. You understand that every life matter, including the one you're trying to protect. See, I'm a core advocate protecting the girls. I have them. In my family, I have 5 sisters. So for you to understand, I have nieces. I love that. I love the fact that Nancy was trying to protect her family. But how about the gate man? How about his own life? Does his life not matter too? I need you to be very, very honest in this conversation. You know why I'm saying it? They say Lagos is very risky. Nigeria is this, Nigeria. Some people are saying it's not true. Nigeria is safe. Some are saying Nigeria is not safe. It's loud that when you live overseas, you don't know practically what happens. You're hearing from what others are saying. That's what you get to know. But I want to ask this question. Let me say this statement before my question. Every life matter. The life of your cook, the life of your steward, the life of your driver, the life of your gateman. Every life matter. And when you start taking people, treating people differently, the way you would want to be treated, then it becomes a concern. She was trying to protect her family, I know, but I asked questions, and somebody answered me that the driver also does errand. Now back to my reality. If this man buys water that the whole family drink, Nancy, that is a personal and also a close family. If you can trust him with your water, trust him with your children to drive them to school and back, that's where I will hold you responsible. Because you can't tell me it's only to pass a night or bring the person inside the house that you don't trust the person. But the person can go and buy water. Remember, the water is in plastic container. Anybody can use a syringe inside the water. What happened? You wouldn't know where it's coming from until autopsy is done. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. How close is this driver? How close is it family? Is this what just I will pick? I remember when I said that a driver was attached to me. The driver know they buy me food, no matter how tired I am. Mm-mm. My relationship with that particular driver was take me, you wait for me for my lecture. When I finish, you bring me back to Lagos. That was the relationship. Then if I have extra cash, I would give him. I took care of him lunch because he has to wait for me at least for 3 hours before we come back. So that is the relationship I had. At the time, I was as single as what a broomstick, okay? And there was no attachment. It was just me. And it was because of driving from Lagos to Ibadan is risky. So my sister made sure that was provided for me. Then for my sister's personal driver, he's not just a driver, he became a family. I remember when, things you don't think you might need in your home, you call the wife will come and make selection the one they want. That is how close my sister was with her driver and her driver's family. So such a person is no longer what? A stranger. But like I said, somebody said this driver is temporary. Maybe he's new. Maybe that's why there is some reservation for Nancy. But my question still, if this man brings your children from point A to B without you accompanying him, that should be what? A close person, right? If he buys you water, refills your water that you put drink in your home, that is close. If he helps you bring your grocery, that is close. Is he a driver you can send to the supermarket to run off and buy you something because you run out? I need to know. I need to know. All right, I'm going to read more comments and then get to understand this conversation better. Laura, thank you for joining. He said, for some reason or another, she wasn't comfortable with him staying in the house where the kids sleep. I will do the same. And at at that, his job, so maybe he too could have made provision. So you see, in overseas, yes, as your because they pay for you charge per hour in overseas. So let's assume that this guy was working for Nancy and they live overseas, and let's say the hourly pay is till 5 p.m. and due to Lagos traffic is extended to 2 a.m. So Nancy is going to pay overtime for those period of extension on traffic. Traffic overtime. That's an hour and a half pay. Let's assume you're paying him $20 an hour. So you're going to be paying him 10.5 an hour and a half. I think they said, why is my math? I don't know. I can't remember my math, okay? But you're going to pay him at the 1.5, that's an hour and a half of the overtime if they were working in Nigeria. And then he's now left for working in overseas. He's now left for the man to make provision where he's going to stay. It will not be your responsibility because you're paying for the time he works for you. But in Nigeria, most madams, they have accommodation quarters for their domestic staff, including the driver. Okay. And because the domestic staff, the new place they move do not have a home or a livable quarter outside the building. Maybe they have 4 bedroom guest room in the house, but not livable quarters for domestic staff. It could be the situation for Nancy. So in Nigeria, drivers don't make provision for where they sleep. It's the responsibility of the madam or the orgas, the boss, to make provision where your drivers sleep. Okay, that's how the arrangement kind of is done in Nigeria. All right, let me read more comment. If my job lets me out late, I must either find my way home or make other plans. It's not my employer's responsibility where I sleep until my next shift. I believe you live overseas, like I explained, so you understand it better. In Nigeria, it's not like that. They are not paid per hour. They are not paid extended, will I say, how is it called? Overtime. They are not paid for overtime. You're paid salary, and that salary is fixed, unless if your madam or your boss is doing raise, they will now add to it. So in overseas, you have the time to ask for your overtime. If your working time has lapsed because of traffic, those become overtime. You can make more money than your regular time with what overtime. So employers in America, they don't like overtime. They would rather pay your regular hours than overtime. So he's not a new driver. Sisi is saying, but if someone says that they have a bitter experience, I would look into it. Okay, he's not a new driver. That means the driver has been with Nancy for a longer period. Okay, let me read more comment before. Hi, Sugar Chi. Thank you for joining. Nancy does none of his staff. Okay, yeah, Nancy does not treat none of his staff bad. That I know because she kept talking about having telling other employers of labor to increase the pay wages of their domestic staff because things are very expensive. I saw that video. I loved it. I really, really loved that video. All right. So try to say, yes, so you're very correct. We base overseas, we see things, we are saying the truth in this matter. Exactly. Growing up, my parents instilled in us the importance of treating domestic staff with dignity. One, Nancy treats her staff with dignity. I will say that she respects them, she gives them reasonable wages. But this one was the one that hooked her. You know, once in a lifetime, you make a mistake. And if this wasn't on a live stream, nobody would have known about it. All right. The driver is in a gated community and is very safe. Okay, it's safe for the driver to sleep in the car. I don't know about that. Whether it's a gated community or not, I don't know about that. Is he going to run air condition in that car, or is just going to turn off the car and sleep under the heat? Is he going to wind down and mosquitoes will feast on him? Let's still remember Nigeria is a tropics, okay? So I need to understand whether gated or not gated is still not safe. That's what I would tell you. Whether gated or not gated is still not safe for so many reasons. The way we hear about Nigeria when we are abroad is not the same. It's not how it is at home. Okay, great. Um, she said that she couldn't let him leave that late, so he offered his car. It was not her main house. Yes, she offered the car, and that's where people found it very offensive. You're offering your car to someone's father, someone's husband. What if anything should happen to them, happen to him? So some children somewhere will become fatherless, or one wife will become a widow. It was so many thoughts around it. And sincerely speaking, is really thought provoking because you hear it on the internet. But the reality in Nigeria is that they do these things every day, and to them is no big deal. It's only a big deal when you hear it on the internet, then you start processing it. But the people doing that, I must tell you, they do the worst. Nigeria, right? Those living in Nigeria, how they treat their domestic staff, they do the worst. All right, let me continue. Oh, I disagree. I know of a close family getting up at night while the parents sleep and SA the kid. A family, a close family. I know a close family getting up at night while the parents sleep to SA the child. Wow, wow, wow. That is gross. See, In this case, in my opinion, in this case, it's not a must that accommodation is in that house. Like someone said here, this trip was pre-planned. It wasn't an emergency trip. It was pre-planned. What if is always there in everything? There is always what if. And whereby you were expecting your father to come in and the flight was delayed. Of course, you'll be calling the airline, they will tell you the flight was delayed for another 3 hours and all of that. That will be the time you start thinking, oh, that means with couple with Lagos traffic, give and take, they will not be here till midnight. So where would this man drive back to mainland? These are conversations that you have in your mind before your father even gets home, before the plane touches ground. These are the conversations that you should have heard before the plane touched ground. You would have had those conversations, especially when you're doing a live stream. Because, like I said, most people do this and it's not a big deal. Driver sleeping in the car is not, trust me when I say this, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Trust me. But because you have a lot of haters on social media, that's why your error rate is reduced for people to give you the room to make those mistakes. That's why making pre-plans is very important. So in this case, if there is any lesson Nancy will learn, everything is not a live stream show. Everything is not a live stream. And know when to stop the live stream. Know when to say, bam, I'm done. The moment you welcome your father, you were bringing something. You could have said, okay, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. Let me, enjoy my dad. Then that conversation that came after it, nobody would have seen it. There is one person I respect on social media here. I'm not saying it because she's in content my on this live stream. I've said it in someone else live stream in the past. Choice TV is live almost every day, except when she's tired. And at the time she was going live like that, even her kids were a lot younger. The moment her baby at hand wakes up, no matter 1,000 people watching her, she will call it a day because she doesn't want her children to be crying while she's doing live stream. Ability to understand how to master live stream is another thing to earn as a content creator. And not everything is a live stream content. Mark my word, not everything. Because you already know very well that you have people waiting for you to fall. Don't give in to that. Did I say that people sleep in the car in Nigeria, the drivers? Of course they do. Those that don't have quarters. Let me give you an example again for you to understand that, to Nancy, she wasn't doing anything out of ordinary. But to the eyes of those, taking in all the videos, they will have what? Opinions, especially when you live overseas. Let me say this again. Some people might live in 4 bedroom. They will have like 3 kids, so there is no space. And the driver brings madam very late. The driver sleeps in the car till the next morning. Whether it's gated or no gated, is not a big deal in Nigeria. But remember, when you're putting your content on social media, you don't have only your people that will understand the rudiments of how it works in your local community that will consume that content. It goes global. People will have opinion. For those talking about gated community, let me give you an example. My co-worker told me that that her car was vandalized. They parked outside. Very nice place in America. I was surprised when I heard her story. I say, how? How did that happen? I refuse to believe it. Because when you tell me something, I have to gauge my neighbor. I've left my garage open more than countless times. Let me put it that way. It happened 3 days ago. My kids were playing outside, and when they came back, I didn't go back to check if the garage was locked. My garage was open. Cars, my freezer is in the garage, and other things. But because I know where I live, you understand? It wasn't a big deal. But anything could still happen. After all, it happened to my co-worker. It was when they now started using one car. She has to go drop her husband because their car was sent to the workshop to get fixed. So anything can happen, and chances shouldn't be taken, especially when you're doing a live stream, when you're showcasing your life out there to the global community that definitely will have opinion based on how things are done in where they are based. Things are done differently overseas than how it's done in Africa. Let's always bear that in mind as we are putting content and showcasing to the world. All right, let me see where I stop. Exactly. Our domestic staff were treated like family. Our driver was like the big brother I never had. Okay. If you notice, her father was very uncomfortable when she asked him to sleep in the car. You see, I didn't even take those because some other people were saying the father was not surprised and all of that. But you're saying the father was uncomfortable. I guess the father is more conscious of live stream because of the heat he got when he was with Cora. So he saw how people were reacting because Cora was, especially when they were doing their cooking together. You understand? So the father might be more cautious. Remember, he just left America where you have to be careful because of people will come for you. You know that kind of a thing. Maybe that's why. Um, um, wow, no overnight. I lost this one. Maybe something I said overnight. Where is overnight coming? I lost that one. If you can rephrase, let me know what you're saying about overnight. Okay, no overnight in Nancy's place. Is that the thing? Okay. Hi, Efe. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening, Auntie Oyoyo and everyone. I messaged you on Facebook with a different. Yes, I saw it and I replied. Thank you so much for catching up with me. It was not a live stream. She said she told it. It was not a live stream. Sissy, no, 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 no. Sissy, say it again. It was not a live stream. No. She put her camera and was welcoming her father. Was that not live? It was live. It was live. How Oyoyo, please refresh me on Nancy's driver situation. Liz Labode joining. Liz, I don't have all the time. I have like 15 minutes left. Okay. So the Nancy's driver situation is that the driver brought the father very late. And because he was late, remember Nancy and the family, they've been in the island and their main house where she has domestic staff quarters is very far, not very far, but because of Lagos traffic and insecurity in Nigeria, everybody is very conscious, you understand, of how you go out at night. So he now told the driver wanted, excuse me, the driver actually wanted to drive back to where he could get his bed to sleep. Nancy said, no, I don't want you to go, but there are things I want you to do very early in the morning. Because to be honest with you, if the driver had gone back, maybe returning very early would be very difficult. So Nancy didn't want the driver to leave. Then where would the driver sleep? That was the issue. Nancy said the driver should sleep in the car. And that did not go well with so many people on social media. They have opinion and they've been expressing their opinion. So that's what happened in this case. The driver brought Paul Bidi very late and then wanted to go back, drive back. Nancy said no. And when Nancy was trying to justify the reason why she said the driver should sleep in the car, she said it's because she can't let a stranger in her home where she has her children. So I did ask one or two questions, personal questions for those that know Nancy's driver or personal lifestyle to be able to answer. One of the questions I asked, this driver in question, does the driver pick the kids up for Nancy from school to and fro? Or must the driver be accompanied by Nancy or the husband to go pick the children up or drop the children off? That's my number one question. The second question I asked, does the driver for once go run like, grocery errand, buy things from the supermarket, bring back home alone? Does he buy water? You know, the way you buy bottled water and things alone? Because if he does these things I asked here, that means he's just more than a stranger. If he can drop your kids to school and back, if you can entrust that person to take your children to school or to bring them back home, even if you drop them in the morning, you entrust the person to bring your children back home safely, He's no longer a stranger. That's my opinion. And I gave my personal experiences about driver in Nigeria. So that's the whole thing I just said in a nutshell. To be honest, Auntie Oyoyo, imagine if I had driving home and something happened to him, then he would drag Nancy. So I don't think we can ever please haters, Auntie Oyoyo. Great point. Great point. We can please haters. But what I'm saying, not everything is for social media. I've said it severally and I'm still saying it, especially when you know you have a lot of people hating on you. Not everything. That's why you have to sit down, make video, edit it. And Sisi just told me here that the video was not a live stream. It was not a live, I think it was a live video. I want to believe it was a live video, but I could be wrong. Okay, I could be wrong. Hi, Oyoyo Favor. Thank you for joining. Liz said, when I visited my son in Malta, my son invited a stranger who um, we met on social media 2 years ago. I was upset because I was not raised like that. As a single mother, I never let any man sleep over. Trust your children to pour stain on your white. They are very easily, they're so welcoming. They don't understand the risks. When you sit down, seeing the risk you're trying to prevent them from, they are standing up and they still cannot see it. So, all right, I will follow her now. Okay, let me see. Don't forget that Nancy and her husband just finished settling the case of her father-in-law's personal driver. Did I know the man that was there stealing money from them and all of that? I know that's financial issue. I can understand that. I guess that's a trust issue. Fine. Joy, thank you for being here because I know you know Nancy's story more than I do. See, my concern, if that thing was not done live, I don't know why Nancy put it out there, that portion of the video out there. It doesn't concern the social media what your interaction with your driver is. What they wanted to see, well, what you want to show is how you receive your father. That video would have ended there. I'm saying it again. If you don't want to be dragged on social media, know what you put out there. And what can make or my a content creator is live, going live stream, because you don't have control. You cannot edit. I can't edit this video. I can ramble and ramble. I don't have option to edit it. But if I sit down to rewatch this video, I can come back with some point, edit the ones I don't think that make sense so that people don't get to see it. That's my number one. Secondly, like I said, if it was an emergency flight, there are several what is it called? Airbnbs around that area of Lagos. Several. What people were suggesting is okay, you could have given him a guest house, a guest room to sleep in. You could have slept with your children, blah, 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 and all that. People don't like inconveniencing themselves. I know of a family member that her sister's children came. They have daughters of the same age. She could not even allow the sister's children to sleep in the same room with the daughter, with her own daughter. Rather, she gave them a place somewhere in the same house. That is the way people understand things. People have different reasons for what they do. But my take for Nancy is you already know how the vultures are waiting for you. Not everything is for social media. And again, that flight was not an emergency landing. As we were making, okay, oh, the flight has been canceled. You're calling Lufthansa or calling Air France or whatever that brought your father back to Nigeria. They now told you the expected time for the flight to land. That is the time of making an arrangement for this man in case they are late. Where will he sleep? How will I accommodate him? What should I do? Because you know you want to put it out there on social media. Let's be more careful with this social media because it's going to bring more anxiety than joy. Let me read more comment. Very true. Filming life is open. Exactly. And somebody told me it was not a live stream. I don't want to believe it because I saw when she set the camera when her father came in. I want to believe it was streamed live. Babes said, exactly, I can't remember the last time I locked my door during the day. You better start locking your door. What happened to my coworker? I was shocked. It wasn't a live stream. Just baby still saying the same thing. So that video was not live. Then why did Nancy post that portion? Knowing that it could throw her off for criticism. Why? Why? Then you have to come and start making videos upon video to justify your action. It does not make sense. Take off what you can take off. You have, if you do a video recorded, you have what? The power, the authority to dictate how that video goes. But when it's live stream, live video, however you want to call it, you don't have that power. It was a pre-recorded video. Another person is saying that. That's where she missed it. She did not edit this part. Because to be honest with you, if you live in diaspora and hear that somebody asked the driver to sleep in the car, what will go into your mind? Popcorn. Who? Why? Is he not a human being? Why wouldn't you sleep in the house? All those questions will start coming in. But if you're back home in Nigeria, it's no big deal because they do that all the time. But if you have haters online, you should be more careful. More careful. Joy said it was not a live stream, it was recorded. Why put that one out there? Why? What happened to the edit button? It was a voiceover video. She said she intentionally dropped the driver thing into the video. Intentionally. So that she can tell people strangers should not sleep in your house. Nobody is answering for me if this guy does pick up kids from school for Nancy without being, accompanied. Nobody's answering that part. Do you guys know that much? Because if the guy does that, then he's not qualified to be a stranger, in my opinion. If the guy buys bottled water for them, he's no longer anybody you can trust with your food. Water, you don't cook water to drink. Bottled water, you just throw in the fridge and it gets. Do you understand what I'm saying? Anybody you can trust with food, with what goes inside your system, that person is not a stranger. Anyone you can trust to bring your children back from school or take them to school is not a stranger. I don't know if this particular driver does all of this for Nancy. That much I don't know. But let me continue to read the comment. That's not true. He had the day off the next week. I don't know which one is not true. We are not talking about day off car, so that's a different conversation. When he said, she said she intentionally left the driver's part so she knows people will react. Really? I know she lied there because she wasn't expecting the backlash. That makes it sound even worse. So because she wanted him to do an earlier errand, she made him sleep in the car. I agree, Oyoyo. Not everything should be on social media, whether live or replay. Exactly. Contingency plan is always a good thing. Now you're talking like a very, very sound scholar of the MBA. Contingency, contingency plan. Very, very, very good. Honestly, if maybe that was a friend, she might have thought of a way to keep them safe. Maybe an overnight B&B. Exactly. Why not Airbnb? Yeah. She would have let him take a keke napep. Or even take a Uber ride back home. There's so many ways around this. But he said he wants him around early in the morning or something like that. So there are so many ways. If now Nancy is saying to people that she intentionally dropped it to know what people are going to say, I don't want to believe that. Nobody wants to be dragged. I don't want to believe that. Maybe she forgot to edit that part. And then when she now got the backlash, story changed. All right. They are in the same house and no lock in the front for now. Nancy's mistake was bringing it to social media. Thank you, Joy. Thank you. Her mistake was bringing it to social media. Period. If she hadn't put it on social media, there is no way I would have watched where she was saying, maybe you sleep in the car. I wouldn't have heard that. I wouldn't have watched that. Let's be mindful what we share. Especially, because you have inherited so many enemies because of your sister. You don't want people dragging you every now and then. When she was, before Cora divorce mess was happening, people was once in a while throw jab at Nancy. Look at how your sister is dressing, but not the way she has gained a lot of enemies. Those hating on her sister are hating on her equally. Don't think it's just Cora they are hating. They are hating on Nancy at the same time. So that is the reason why you have to be extremely careful with what you put on social media. You don't want to come and start justifying your reasons for putting a content. You don't have to. Holy Mary, it was pre-recorded. Says, good evening, host and everyone. I am surprised it was pre-recorded. Exactly, Oyoyo. Plus the African movie showing that they mistreat themselves. Hey, Liz, if you guys want us to talk about how domestic staffs are treated in Nigeria, I'm all out for it. And on that day, I'm going to do a collab. I will ask Choice TV to join me because she has a lot to say. I've made several videos in the past, or maybe live stream. I think videos. If I can remember, find them, I might tag them to this video. If you see the level of maltreatment, you ask questions. Some will whip a child to the point that her whole skin or his whole skin ripped. Some will throw hot water. Some will use pressing hot iron. Is that bad? And these people that are receiving this younger people, younger, will I say children, for the sake of YouTube and Facebook, if I'll say minors, is really that bad. The mistake Nancy made here, and I like when you make a mistake, own up to it and accept responsibilities. Guys, my time is up. I've been here for 51 minutes. And I will really enjoy this short live stream. If you're coming to watch this video much later, leave me your thoughts in the comment section. Joy said, overjoy of seeing her father after 6 months. I don't believe she intentionally dropped it. I don't believe that too. People make mistakes, and we are humans. Mistakes are allowed. But when you make a mistake, own up to it and then do better in the future. So I want to especially thank all of you for joining me in this hot afternoon. I have a few more minutes to get back to work. Thank you guys for being amazing. Join me again this evening, and also to all of you watching me today. I started a sit down video, so I need to go to my sit down video. I want you to watch that video to give me your opinion. That is reality, real life stories I'll be sharing in my channel. So I need you to give me your opinion. Try watch that video, give me your opinion, because more of that kind of video will be coming on my live on my channel here at Oyoyo's World. Nancy wanted to emphasize that she has zero tolerance to strangers. I approached her on a live to take Uber, but she says she can't raise the guy going home. At it was more unsafe with Uber. You are going to discuss justice blocking June feature. Yes, I'm going to discuss that this evening. I'm going to discuss that this evening. I just get hold of that video. I'll talk about it this evening, Liz. So catch me in the evening at 5 p.m. Central Time in America. So we're going to be talking about June getting a contract, but the father said no to that contract. I'm going to schedule it after this live stream. Thank you guys for joining me today. Until I see you guys much later in the evening, watch this video, leave me your comment in the comment section. We might disagree to agree later, okay? But I've shared my opinion and I stand by it. She shouldn't have put that portion of that video on social media. There is no need for that. Bye, everyone. Bye.